love. It's when I say love, I'm talking about the unconditional, universal, infinite love. So last month we did the ego. The month before we did manifestation. And the month before that we did reclaiming power. And you'll notice that this topic will finish the last 4 months, if you like. And the last 4 months seems to be a block, it seems to be a series of its own. Reclaiming power, manifestation, ego, and love. And you will notice that love, today's topic, will weave back into the last 3 months of topics. So throughout today, you'll notice that I'll keep going back into those 3 months and weave this topic, love, into those last 3 topics, if that makes sense. So, unconditional, universal, infinite love. The love that cannot be defined because it is a love that has no parameters. It has no parameters because it is a love that is infinite. It cannot be defined or described because as soon as you do, it becomes finite. So therefore we cannot actually talk about the unconditional, infinite, universal love. But the reason I use the words that I use to describe that love is because those are the words that are have less charge associated with them. You could call it godly love, but the word God has lots of charge associated with it and different associations with that word. So that your word infinite cannot have any charge, although people may place what they feel infinite is, place a label on it, but infinite, you cannot label infinite. Infinite is the nothingness. Because the moment it becomes something, it becomes finite, but within the nothingness is everything, as we've been discussing in the previous months of OMG. So therefore, we cannot describe or speak about infinite, unconditional, universal love. So why don't we start with, it's just, it's not even, don't even bother. This is not something that you could know. It is only something, when I say know, I mean up here, it's only something that you can experience for yourself. And I will give different reference points where you may have had experiences of that. Okay? But there's no use me sitting here right now and defining it to you, because the moment I define it to you, it actually is no longer that love. However, what we can start with is the love that is defined, the love that does have parameters, the love that does have condition. The love that is limited, that is finite. We can start with that because we can define that. We can say, yep, that's that love right there, which I commonly refer to as the human-made love. It's a human love. It's, when I say human-made, it's humans, as human beings, we have reference to this love as unconditional or love. But it's not love. If anything, it's the need of love, but it's not love itself. It's the need of love. So we have been able to define that love. So why don't we start with that? We're going to start with the question or the conversation that we're going to start with in the circle today is, how do you know when it is the finite love or your human-made love? How do you know it's that? Because you can't define the infinite love, but we can define the man-made finite love. Everyone here has done the WTF probably multiple times. Okay? But don't go just to what you've experienced in the past. Go to your heart right now and just find. What I want to do is have a discussion. We'll go around with the mics. So you put your hand up. All right, we'll have a discussion. In fact, we'll go around the circle. That's what we'll start with today. And I want you to, each person, go around and tell me, well, what is the love that is defined? What is the love that is limited? How do you know? You cannot know the love that's infinite, because the love that's infinite comes from the unknown. You can never know it. You can never hold it. You can never keep it. You can never describe it. But you can find the love. You can define the love that is human-made. So why don't we start with there, and then we'll see where it goes. So if I can have a mic, please. And we'll start with you, Yolanta, if that's okay. Were you here when I gave the mic training? You just got to keep on your... You were here? Oh, okay. So just keep that on your chin. And tell me, how do you know it is the defined love? It is the... You guys know what I'm saying, right? With the condition, with the love that's human-made, yes? If you don't, then ask me. If you're not 100% clear about that. Well, that's why we're having this conversation anyway, to be able to be 100% clear.
As soon as I define it, it is defined. As soon as I find a need to justify something what I have done to describe it as love, or the feeling which I have, I find the need to describe it is love. Because if it's infinite, I wouldn't have a need to say it. It would be there.
So your key thing there is that you know it's the human-made love when you need to justify why you love something?
Not necessarily why. Just even saying that. Describing the feeling.
Right. So the moment you describe a feeling, the moment you're justifying.
Exactly.
Okay. So can you tell me, can you see areas of your life that you're doing that in?
All the time.
Yeah. So you can see particular areas of your life that you do that in.
Whether it is with my husband or whether it is with my friends, or there's so many things I love, but I think it is as soon as I describe the feeling, it becomes a human love, because there was a need to express it. There would not be that infinite love doesn't have a need of expression.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
It's an attachment when it's human love. There's an expectation around it, and it can cause conflict if you're not getting, if you put an attachment, an expectation, and then you don't get the outcome that you're expecting, other things can happen. So that's the humanness. But
can I ask you a question?
Yes.
What is the expectation for or of?
Well, you want an outcome. Expecting an outcome.
And what do you want from that outcome?
You expect the person to give you something.
And what is it that you expect the person to give you?
Well, reciprocate something.
Reciprocate
a feeling or an expression.
An expression of what?
Love.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good description. So can you see areas of your life where you are doing things with an attachment or with an expectation to be loved or to be reciprocated, as you said, with the feeling of love?
A little bit, yeah. Not a lot, because I'm not in a relationship, so I don't have that.
It has nothing to do with relationship.
Well,
it has to do with money, it has to do with relationships, it has to do with friendships, it has to do with your relationship with food, relationship with money, relationship with your boss, relationship with the environment, relationship with people,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay.
For me, it's it sort of has it like a condition around it. There's conditions attached.
And what's the condition?
So it has to appear a certain way, otherwise it's not love. If it sort of meets a certain criteria, like it ticks certain boxes,
Yep.
then yep, that's love. And if it doesn't, or doesn't happen to tick some of those boxes, well, it's not meeting the standard or whatever. And then it's like, well, that's not love. That's now a negative or negative expression of it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and I can see how that sort of appears in my life at various times where.
Michael, just speak up a little.
Yeah, I can see how that.
You got the mic.
Yeah, I know, because you can't hear it. How that appears in my life, where I attach expectations and conditions around it, and then it has to fulfill that criteria. And if it doesn't look like that or feel like that, then that can't be love.
Okay.
So I can see how that sort of
So you can see where
those. Yeah, I can see how those themes through be it my relationships with people, with objects, with how I suppose perceive and live my life, how those threads seem to what's the word, flow or connect through my life.
Yep.
It's those sort of conditional things attached. So yeah.
Okay, very good. So I want you to notice what you say, guys, and then I want you to notice how it relates to your story and how it relates to, there's no mistake, what you just, I should tell you this after you've said this, but hey, it's coming out now. I want you to notice what you say, because there's no mistake in exactly what you said. There's no mistake that you describe human-made love as a love that needs to be reciprocated, for example, right? There's no mistake that you said that love is, it's when you have a condition that it should look like this, it should feel like this, okay? There's no mistake that you described it that way. And I want you to hold on to your answer, all right? And how it does relate to your life, and I want you to hold on to that. All right? There's no mistake what answer is coming to you to speak. Okay, thank you. Did you fly in from Melbourne?
No, I drove last week.
Did you?
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Because you're in Melbourne now, right?
Yeah, Melbourne now. And I'm in Melbourne because I love it. And Sydney because I love it as well. Like, this day is just awesome. This time of year you don't get that in Melbourne.
So what's your answer?
Well, I guess I often ponder it, but just now, the difference for me is the love that I have for things. So if I feel love for things, whether it be even the music that I'm listening to, my lovely wife, the food that I'm eating, and things, but
so how do you know it's a human-made love? How do you know when it is the human-made love? That's the question. And just remember to keep the mic up.
I think it's more than, I guess it's my awareness of it is on the surface. When I'm not thinking about it, it comes more from feeling and knowing that this love that I'm feeling isn't out for things that are outside of me. They are me and created from me and for me. I feel deeper or more.
Are you trying to describe the infinite love here, or are you trying to describe the question I'm asking?
I'm trying to describe, I guess, the difference I feel between both. It's the same
Okay, so
thing.
I want you to stay with the one question first. Let's focus on the one thing. All right? Because the other one, you can't define it. The one that you can define. How do you know, Mark, when you're doing something that is with the little love, the finite love? How do you know? I want you to define it.
Warm, happy, comfortable.
How do you know when you are doing something that's conditional? When you are doing something with an expectation?
Thinking about it.
Okay, so the love that is little, small love, not the infinite one, the finite love, the human-made love, is when you're thinking about it. So how does it feel when you're thinking about it? Can you elaborate on what you mean by thinking about it?
Well, it means that I'm thinking, I love this. This is awesome. I'm really loving this right now.
So what's the difference between thinking about it and having an awareness that you're loving this? Because sometimes you just have an awareness that I love this.
I guess the word would be that there is an expectation, or an attachment to an outcome. Like, I'm loving this, so I should be feeling good.
Okay.
About it.
So then there's an expectation, an attachment to an outcome.
Yeah.
And what are you expecting, and what is your attachment towards in the outcome? Because the only reason you're attached is because you want something from the outcome. So what is it that you want from the outcome? What is it that you're having expectations for or towards?
Wanting security, and comfort.
And when you have that, what are you feeling?
And peaceful.
And what's the one thing you feel when you feel love?
When I don't feel love.
When you are feeling love.
When I'm feeling love.
Do you feel peaceful?
Yeah. Oh, completely at peace.
So if we can put this answer for you. I'm just noticing how you're answering the question. First of all, I just want you to know there's no mistake. The question is, how do you know when you're in doing something that is the definable love, the small love? And you went and started answering some other question.
Yeah.
Okay? Just notice, you want to take this feeling that you have and really bring it to this point. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause you're connected to the feeling, but you're out there. And if you don't be careful, you just becomes woo-woo.
Yeah.
Right? You want to be able to take that feeling and bring it to this moment. All right? Be present to this moment. Because I just noticed where you went to answer the question. You went here, and then you went there, and then you went everywhere. And I'm trying to keep bringing you, but this is what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Okay? So just notice your process of what you did to answer that question. Okay? It's just where you're at right now.
Yeah.
All right? Can you see how that relates to where you're at in your life?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I just want you to notice that.
Yeah.
Okay? Bring it to now. Bring it. You can bring that feeling and bring it into form.
Yeah.
But if you just stay in the feeling, it's wonderful, but you can just stay in la la land.
Yeah.
Okay? I think you're exploring the feeling right now in your life. Exploring this feeling. And that's cool. When you're done with exploring it, know that you can bring that feeling and channel it into one point. And that's how we live the feeling. Live the infinity. Because ultimately that's what you're here to do,
That's
is to
right.
live it.
Yeah.
All right? But you're enjoying right now just being in the feeling. So when the story starts creating a bit of pressure, it will force you to come, all right,
Mm-hmm.
I'll either force you to get out of that feeling of La La Land and go into the story, which is not what you want.
No.
You want to take La La Land and bring it into Storyland.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
And that's what we're training to do here.
Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
And what you're sharing there is being mirrored for other people as well. Okay? I want you to notice your answers, but also notice how other people are mirroring different things for you. Okay, great.
The things that have already been said: attachment, control, to fill the void, to fill the emptiness,
To feel the emptiness.
to fill the emptiness. What we're actually seeking is divine love, but we're actually looking in the wrong places. And
Keep this about
a
yourself.
positive charge.
Take we out and say I,
I feel
just for now.
I'm looking for the positive. I felt my love for my children was the closest thing, but I still have found myself thinking, if you love me, you wouldn't do this or you wouldn't say that. So it comes with conditions of, you'll make me feel good. If you love me, you'd always keep me feeling great.
Yeah.
Positive charge. The negatives, then you go into control to try and control the person's behavior to
Yeah.
reclaim that positive emotion.
So you can see exactly where you're doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So you know exactly where it is. Great, thank you.
So for me, I think the way I would define human love is mostly around the feeling of joy,
What's that, sorry?
the feeling of joy and excitement. I think that I have felt a lot of moments in time when it's just this amazing beauty. And I think that's part of how I feel, whether it's eating something that's really yummy or being in a relationship, and it doesn't have to be romantic either way. It's just, I think it's more in the search of that sensation. And there's definitely attachment there, and there's definitely looking for reciprocity. And I think that when I think it's the most love is when I feel like I can open up and really trust. So trust would be a big thing for me around there.
What are you thinking right now?
I was just thinking that I feel like when it's really, really love, I can just open. I feel like a puppy when you just on your back and you just have your little paws open. That's what it feels like. Just being open.
Okay, so what's the question?
What's the question?
What's the question for this moment?
How would
What's
you
the
see
question
human
that-
love?
What's that?
How would you see human love? Or how would you define human love or the finite
Yes.
love?
So what did you just define?
To me, it's the feeling.
The feeling of what? How do you know that it is the human love? How do you know when you're pursuing something that's human love, or when you're coming from the human love?
I suppose there's an expectation that I'm going to feel good.
Okay. Very simple answer.
Yep.
All right, so it is an expectation that you have of feeling good.
Yeah. Which to me, that means that there's an attachment there as well, because if there's no feeling good, then...
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
what is it in the feeling good that you're looking for?
Joy, surrender.
Love?
Yeah. Love.
Okay, great, thank you. And you can see how you're playing that in your different areas of your life. So there's things that you're doing for the feeling. So there's different things in your life that you may be doing to pursue a feeling. And the feeling that you're ultimately looking for is joy, surrender, love. Yes? Okay.
Expectations and conditions. That's how I know.
Okay. So So they're your big things. You have expectations and conditions. So
Yep.
what do you have expectations for?
Love. To get love back.
To get love back.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can see where you're doing that?
Yep.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Your smile says yes. What about conditions? What is your condition around?
The same.
So you want to be reciprocated love? Otherwise, okay.
It has to look a certain way.
No, good. Same as Michael. Has to look a certain way. It has to feel a certain way.
And if it doesn't tick those boxes, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Excellent. Thank you.
For me, I know when it's human love, when I have some expectation or something, and then when I don't get that result, my feeling will change. So, for example, if I love something or love to do something, and behind my mind I have expectation for that, and then I don't get it, then I feel I don't love anymore that thing or that person or whatever.
Okay, great. Perfect. And you can see where you're doing that in your life, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
The word that's coming for me is validation. I guess I would come from a point of perhaps not having given a huge amount of love or having felt like I've received a huge amount of love, but if I was to describe what it's like to not have or give, then I would say that it's kind of almost hard to exist sometimes, or think that you exist without being cared for or having something to care for.
Hang on. That's a good answer. I'm just trying to. You said it so fast. I'm just trying to capture everything you just said. So validation. So you know it's the conditional love or the human-made love. When you're looking for your love to be validated.
Yeah, and to feel validated. Yeah.
To feel validated. So what does it feel? How do you feel when it feels validated?
I don't really know.
Why don't you know?
Oh, I've never been in love before, and I've never really felt like anyone's loved me.
Take the love out of the romantic love and broaden your scale and look at how love applies in different areas of your life. This is not just about relationships. In fact, infinite love is about life. Relationship is just a part of life.
Yeah, but we're not talking about infinite love.
Okay, but there's human-made love, all right? Not the. Start again. There's human-made love, and we don't just play it in the role of relationships. You play it in the role of money. You play in the role of business. You play in the role of your relationship with your boss, with your business partners. You play in the role of relationship with your clients, with your customers. You see, it's not. I've given many examples, and I refer to relationships because people go, I get that. Like in the WTF, I talk about when a person is looking, when it's human-made love, they find another person to love the part of themselves that they don't feel love for. Yes?
I'm talking about everything. I'm not just talking about relationships, though, with that example.
Okay, so tell me where in your life that you're experiencing looking for validation outside of relationships, outside of romantic relationships.
In business.
Okay, so can you tell me how?
Oh, I would like to be a successful businessman.
Okay, so how does it feel if your success was validated? Because you're using the word validation.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that you have connected to something.
Yeah, I guess it would be money would be one. That feeling of achievement first and foremost. I don't really care so much about the money as I love business. I love the challenge, and I would love to feel accomplished within myself, which I could substitute for the word validation. Yeah.
Okay. So then, how does it feel when you're being validated then?
Love.
Okay. All right. So you can see that there's different areas of your life that you're looking for validation outside of a romantic.
Yeah, all areas really. If I let myself go down that way.
Yeah. So how are you feeling right now?
Oh, today's not a good day for me, but I underneath everything, good. Yeah, but life's.
Today's not a good day for me, but underneath everything good.
Oh, there's just a lot of shit going on at the moment, money, business stuff, and.
Are these things that you need validation in?
If I let myself go down that way, then yeah, definitely, and I'm taking a lot of risks, and that's pretty stressful, and so yeah. But underneath everything, then I can easily tap into the infinite love these days.
Yep.
And so sometimes it's much easier than others. Today it's a bit harder.
All right. So can I just make a suggestion? Where underneath everything is okay, that's where I want you to be for today. Okay?
Yes, Amir.
And then you can leave today and go back into the story as a different person.
Yep.
All right? And you'll approach it differently.
Okay.
Hey?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, Amir.
The thing that came to me just then, so the feeling I get with the human-made love is, or how do I know it's human-made love, is it seems to like always go in like a flow, like I get it and then it goes, then I get it, then it goes, so it feels like I'm always searching for that, do you know what I mean? Like it goes up and down.
So you can never keep it.
Yeah.
You have it temporarily.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's how I know it's not infinite love.
Okay. So if you had infinite love, I guess that would be the opposite of that experience, would it?
Yes. Yeah.
So that means you would already have it.
Yeah.
You would not need to attain it.
No.
Okay.
Yep, but
just notice the answers.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you want to say something else?
I was just going to say, I feel like what Brady just said, like, I've got, like, I know I've got that infinite love. Like, I know it's there. I can feel that. But on top of that, I've got the wave. But I am getting it. It's so hard to describe. Like, I'm there, but I'm also having to play this human game, so I'm also there at the same time. Do you know what?
Yep.
Yeah.
The trick is to take where you're there into your everyday life. Okay? So...
Yeah.
Okay. I understand.
Yeah. I'm hoping.
How do I know is pretty much the same as everybody. It needs to be reciprocated. If I give love and the expectation, it has to look, exactly like this as I define it. So I can say, oh yeah, that is love. But similar to Linda, I also feel like I will have it, but I can lose it as well.
You would have it?
I'll have the love, but I can lose it too.
What do you
I will, I can love something, but tomorrow it's gone, or if it's a person, they leave you, or for whatever reason separated, or if I love something, then something might happen that no, it's not going to stay.
Yeah.
Something that's not definitive. I can't say that will always be there, which is a feeling that I always search. That's why when I feel that, I know that there's an infinite, because there gotta be some consistency, which is what I'm pretty much looking for. Otherwise, it goes like that.
Okay.
And it is continuous, and it's kind of painful when you feel like that all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. So it's kind of a balanced thing. It comes and goes. Right. Can I get you to go last, Greg? Is that all right?
I guess for me, it's a conditional thing of giving love, but expecting something in return, or like time and attention, and noticing that if I feel I'm not getting enough, someone I'll withdraw my love, and then wanting love, and then when I'm got love, worrying about losing it, or like with this bit of time where I'm enjoying it, then sooner or later worrying about losing it. So.
Yep. And you can see how that relates into your life.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
I think I would have answered this a little bit differently if I'd have been first around. But I did, I've never really, I suppose I have separated them before, but it's not something that I've really looked at maybe seriously, may not be the word.
So Wendy, ask yourself this question and just go straight to the place, and there's an answer there. How do you know when you're doing something out of human love? How do you know when the love is limited?
I feel whole. I feel like I'm one with what I'm supposed to be one with, and everything flows as it should.
When you're doing something out of limited love, you feel whole, do you?
Yeah, I feel like I'm in the flow with everything that should be.
That's when you're doing something with infinite love, right? Where are you right now? How do you know when your love is conditional? Very simple.
Well, it's like everybody else. It has conditions, I have expectations.
So can you see the areas of your life that you have conditions and expectations? I just want you to be able to see that right now.
Definitely.
Okay. Just hold on to that. That's perfect. Thank you. Hold on to that. Just keep looking for the different areas of your life that you have expectations and conditions. Okay? Okay, thank you.
For me, it's the same. I'll place expectations or conditions in certain areas. And I'm very aware of which specific areas they are.
Yeah. Okay, great, thank you. Let's give it back around to Greg.
As you were saying, it comes down to definitions a lot, I guess, and what the meanings you bring to it. But I came to the conclusion that there was actually no such thing as human love, as we call it. What we're calling love is a feeling that we get when we're taken towards and when we move towards the infinite love. We're moving towards that. In other words, we keep getting a taste of that. So as we get desires met, and you've all said desires and coming back to wholeness and all that sort of thing, as we get desires met, we are moving more into wholeness. And that's where we get this feeling from, which we call love. So what we're calling love as a human love is actually a taste or something, or a feeling that we're going back towards infinite love. Yeah, that's where I've ended up.
Okay, so how did you come up with that answer?
After many, many years. I started off with asking questions about, how can someone, how can you love your dog? Like my dog, I love my dog, dead now, but I had this great love for dog. How can you love your dog? That feeling. And I noticed that when I threw a stick and my dog brought it back to me, she was expressing to me that love of life, and that sort of just that sheer joy of the energy of life. And so that was reflecting back this wholeness, this oneness. So that was one example. And then, a man, how can a man love a woman, and what's the feelings? And it's all sorts of desires, opposites attract, all this sort of thing. And then how can a man love a man? and how all these complications that you get in relationships, how can this be, you know, and all this thing that's called love. And, you know, I come to realise that it's just the fulfilment of desires, but the overall arching desire that we all have is to return to oneness. So all desires are basically drawing us back to wholeness of ourself, oneness within ourself, bringing us back to ourself. And when we get that, an insight of that, or a move towards that, we feel love.
And is there a sense of fulfillment in all love?
In the sense that it's full.
That's an interesting answer, in a sense that it's full. So, in other words, the love came from a full place already. So, if the love came from an unfulfilled place, which is what I'm calling the human-made love, is there a sense of fulfillment in there, in that pursuit of love?
It's very, very temporary.
Temporary.
Very temporary.
That's right.
As soon as it's you think you've reached it, it's not there.
Okay. Very good. Excellent. Thank you. That's why I wanted you to go last, because I know this. Okay. Just wait. Just got to get used to that now.
We use it for inanimate objects, like I love my car, or I love this food. I don't know whether it's our language that uses this word so diversely.
And there is a difference between saying, I love this car because this car makes me happy, versus going, I feel love within myself and I love this car because it's a reflection of my love. It's coming from a full place. And then you go, oh, I really love this expression of myself called driving this car, for example. Versus a person feeling empty, and then they go, when I drive this car, I feel full.
Everybody looks at me, I feel important.
Whatever.
All those feelings.
But the point is, it's an emptiness, and when I drive, I feel full.
But the point is, it can come from an inanimate object or a person.
Yep, an experience or...
So it's still all about getting a good feeling. I'm expecting a great feeling associated with love.
Yep. So, interesting. Let's see if we can define this into a simple sentence or a simple statement. Everyone has got and defined it differently. Everyone, there's 15 or however many people there is here, different answers, and you can all see how it relates into your everyday life, everyday story. So if we were to define that into one little statement, in other words, what I'm asking you is, what is the common thread between everything that you guys just said? What is the similarity between everything you just said? And throughout when everyone was talking, I was pointing it out. So don't look, it's already here. Hang on, let's wait for the mic.
Being loved.
What do you mean by being loved?
Whatever our feeling is, we need a result for that, and that result is to feel loved inside ourselves. So I think when we feel lack of love inside ourselves, so we seek outside to give love to that or do something, then we feel loved after that.
Okay, very good, very good. To give love towards something, so therefore that you can be loved. You see what I'm saying? I know we can't define the infinite love, but the infinite part of you that is love is already love. So therefore, it does not need to do something to feel loved. Can you see what I'm saying? But the finite part of you that perceives that there's something empty within you is continuously looking to do things to feel love, to give things, to be a certain way, to be loving. in order to be loved. Do you understand? In other words, to feel loved. Can you see? So if it was to define it in a small statement, it would be that when it is coming from the human-made love, you do something with love in order to be loved. You even do what you love in order to be loved. You see, the part of you that's coming from fullness, as Greg was saying, or the infinite part of you, it already is love. So therefore, everything that it does is because of love, but the unconditional, universal, infinite love, and that means that it's not looking to be loved or feel loved, return, because it already feels loved. I talk about this in the WTF program, where personal development programs, they teach you to go in front of the mirror and say, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. Is that supportive? Yes. But who's saying, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself? The ego. The part of you that perceives that there's something missing and is looking at itself. Is that supportive? Yes. For the ego, and sometimes we need to do things that's supportive for the ego, for you to realize, to get up to a point of realizing it was the ego. In other words, is it supportive to be more positive than negative? Well, in the story it is. So if someone's really in the story, I'll tell them be positive about it. Have a positive outlook. But to transcend the story, you need to transcend both positive and negative. So someone that is love, or a being that is love, does not need to do things or give things or say things in order for it to be loved. So the simplest statement that we can make here is that a love that is human-made, a love that we can define, is a love that you do something in the name of love, from the reason of love. And love doesn't have reason. The reason you're doing it is because of love. But you're doing it to be loved. Can you understand that? Can you grasp that? Now, I want to share with you, thank you for that. I want to share with you how deep this runs. And when I say deep, I'm just talking about places in your life that you are doing certain things in the name of love, just to be loved, that you're not even seeing. Because right now I say, can you see how that relates to your life? And you're like, yep. All right? You see the surface things. So I want to share with you maybe a couple of stories where you were like, oh, wow, yeah, well, look at that. I wouldn't have shown that. Can I share with you a couple of stories? All right. Should we keep going? It's 11 o'clock. All right, let me tell you one or two stories and we'll do a bathroom break and a coffee break. The first story I want to share with you is from a guy in our team by the name of Jamie Gonzalez.
Get to hear his story.
Most of you know Jamie. And he's okay for me to share this story. Now, Jamie has a big love in the team. He's a very loving guy, and he has a big love to share his love. Big love. Whether that's to share his love with, friends and girlfriend or mum or but in this particular case, he has a big love to share this feeling he has within himself that he's describing as love with people, with the world. So Jamie has become very well established in the social media world. Most of you are like, yeah. Phenomenal. Like he's in our team, he's the master of social media. There is like 4 or 5 shots of Instagram a day. There is posts on Facebook all the time. There is his blog, which is an amazing blog he does. And he shoots his blog and shares. He's always sharing the feeling, right? And one day I decided that, you know what, it's time for Jamie to take this to the next level, because the first thing that I do with my team in their training is to continuously support them in expressing, whether it's expressing their stuff, all right, but most importantly, to express what's true, express the love they have. So that's one of the things that Jamie does. He does a lot of coaching, but in particular, he does a lot of expressing to people in the social media and all that. So one day, very recently, when we just had our retreat, I decided that, all right, let me show Jamie something new. And so what I did is I said to the entire team, but really it was just for Jamie, but of course the whole team got so much from it. And I said to Jamie, all right, Jamie, I said to the team, I always do it that way, don't point it on one person. All right, team, what we're going to do, when we go to the retreat, the day we leave to the retreat, and we always go a day earlier. So by the time we get back, it's about 6, 7, it's almost a week. When we go to the retreat, I want you guys to, from the moment we leave the office to the next day that you get back. Like we get back from the retreat and the next morning you get back. So it's about a week. I want you to be completely off social media. And everyone's like, why? You know, like, and I said, just let's do this. All right, it's part of your training. So as soon as I said it's part of the training, everyone's like, okay, cool. It's part of our next training. And you can see I'm looking at Jamie, and you can see he's got stuff coming up, and he's just like looking at me like, you know, why are you doing this? Like, this is, you know, because I know Jamie would have loved to go onto the retreat. It's beautiful nature, great Instagram shots, you know. You know, I personally got some great shots, you know, while I was out there. And so, you know, I could see that pressed Jamie's buttons, and I was like, great. All right, we're on track. All right, so we went away to the retreat, and we came back a week later, and we came back in the office that week, and still no one's on Facebook, no one's on social media. And I was still on social media, so I went and had a look around and see what's going on, and I looked at Jamie's page and noticed that every day he had 3 or 4 posts about inspirational things and quotes. And I was like, that's interesting. Through the time we were away and went back through the days, he has continued to have posts. Now, I know Jamie's not one to, you know, he's not one to, you know, lie, you know, but he's one to have strategies, right? So I was like, okay, this is interesting. So I didn't say anything. And then when we had the meeting that morning, I said, all right, guys, how did you guys all feel having 1 week completely off your phones and no social media? And, you know, Dico and everyone was like, oh, it was great. It was so different. I felt like a much deeper level of presence and da-da-da, and everyone like that. And then, you know, everyone went around the circle and it got to Jamie, and Jamie's like, oh, I didn't really feel any difference, you know? And I was like, okay. Would that be because you still continue to post? And everyone's like, what? Because no one knew, because no one was on social media. So like, what do you mean you continue to post? And we're like, well, guys, I don't know if you knew, but Jamie had like at least 3 or 4 different posts on his Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you want to call them. I think they all linked together. And everyone's like, and Jamie's like, I wasn't on there. Strategy, right? Love doesn't have strategy. And I said, well, Jamie, first of all, how does everyone feel about that? And everyone's like, well, I feel Jamie's cheating, and he's cheating himself, and he let the team down, and he set it up. Because there's a program that you can program it, and it will do it automatically for you. So Jamie was like, well, I wasn't on there. And I was like, okay, that's not the point, right? I just want you to notice your strategies. And he's like, yeah, okay, I noticed my strategy. And he goes, so what's wrong with that? You always teach me to express what I love. I am expressing it, and now you want to stop me from expressing what I love. So I said this to him. I said, why do you want to express what you love? And this is the point of the exercise. Why do you want to express what you love? He goes, because I love it. And he got all passionate, and he's like, I'm pressing his button, so he's like, because I love it. I'm doing what I love to do. I love it. I travel and I do this, and I want to share that with people. I just love it. I don't have any reason for it. I love it. And I said, okay, great. And I said to him, how often do you look at your post to see how many likes you have, how many shares you have, how many comments you have? And he just kind of went, well, I do check that. It's part of the being on social media. You want to communicate with people. And I said, okay. So here's my question for you. How would you feel if someone said, this post is a load of shit? And that's when Jamie dropped in. And he said, well, yeah, it would affect me. I wouldn't like that. And I said, this is the point I'm trying to make to you. If it's coming from the fullness, nothing wrong with sharing on social media, it's great. But if it's coming from the fullness, it's not looking at how it's being received. Do you understand? Because if it's looking at how it's being received, then it's coming from the emptiness. So what you, Mr. Jamie, call I love it, is coming from the love that's empty. The love that's human-made love, that is looking to have likes and shares. And can you see what I'm saying? Jamie got it. And that's the great thing about Jamie. You know, it doesn't take him very long at all to get it. And when he gets it, you can always see it in his eyes. You can always feel it in his face. When he gets it, he gets it. Some of the other team members, they get it, but they get it this, and then I've got to go and repeat it to them until they drop to the level that Jamie drops in one hit. And that's the great thing about him. And he got it. He got why he is posting and sharing what he loves with people, because it was coming from a place of insecurity. It was coming from a place that's empty. It's coming from the place that perceives that it is not loved. So therefore, the ego has found a thing, a catalyst, if you like. Oh, I love this. Yes, but you love it in order to be loved. And I share this story with you because it will relate to different areas. Because when I say, how does this relate to your life? You just maybe went to the surface part. Go into all the different things that you're doing. Go deeper. Yes, you love it. And I continuously tell people, do what you love. And then sometimes people come to me and they go, oh, my life is completely transformed just from doing what I love to do. And then sometimes I get people going, I'm doing what I love to do. It ain't working. I'm not making more money. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. It's not, you know, this whole do what you love. You just got to do what you need to do. We're here. That's why we're human beings. And they're arguing with me. And I know that that person is coming from the different place, that they're feeling unloved and they are doing something in order to be loved. It's different. I know this very well because myself, when I first felt true for me to speak, did it feel true? Yes, it did, 100%. But the moment I started to speak, I also found that it started to fulfill the emptiness that I was perceiving to have. So in other words, as I started to speak, I grew a need to speak. As I started to write, I grew a need to write. As I started to communicate, I grew a need for my communications to be received. Do you understand? So yes, it was true for me. Yes, no doubt it is true for Jamie, for what he's doing right now in his life. He fits perfectly in the team. Yes, it is true for him to do what he's doing. But along the way, like we spoke about last month, the ego came and hijacked this and went, oh, actually, me speaking and writing, me posting this on Facebook, this can actually fulfill this emptiness. And it hijacks that feeling that feels true. I never forget the moment I got to a place, and it was roughly 3 years ago, where I no longer felt the need to speak. And I thought I was going to stop speaking because I was like, oh my God, I just don't feel the need to speak and the desire to speak. I mean, the desire was even like, I was just like in this place of nothing. I was just like, well, so what am I going to do now? And I know, you know, I've been training with this all the time. I was like, well, I don't feel to do anything. I'm going to do nothing right now. And I felt in that moment I was going to stop speaking because the need went away. But that's when I became free to really speak. That's when the voice started to come from a real deep place. That's when I started to experience the love of me speaking. That's when you would have found me getting up on stage and go, I'm not here for you, to the audience. Why do you think I say that when I get up on stage? I say, please, you do not need to thank me. Now, of course, nothing wrong with them thanking me, right? But I say that you do not need to thank me because I'm not here for you. I'm not kind. I'm doing this because it feels true for me. In other words, if I don't let this feeling out of me through the words that I speak, then it feels like I am dying. But when I let this feeling out, purely because the feeling is there to be released out, I feel alive. And that's why I'm up here on stage. And that's why I'm speaking to you. That's what I say on stage. Nearly every talk. But 3 years ago, approximately, I thought it was all about the service. It was all about loving and coming from the space of love and helping people and watching people get the information used to make me go, wow. Watching people who are in pain and then watching them feel love, I was feeling wonderful around it. I do not feel wonderful anymore from seeing someone getting this. I feel wonderful from delivering this. In fact, go back, I feel wonderful from the space that I'm in before I deliver this. That's unconditional, universal love. And that's why I decided it's time for me to give Jamie that one piece of the puzzle. And now, after Jamie cheated, the team decided, just to finish that story off, that we are going to now do another 6 weeks with no social media. And Jamie's all up for it. And I spoke to Jamie. He was flying to Bali last week to see Mel, his girlfriend. It was her birthday. He was going to surprise her there, and he flew to Bali. And while I was in Bali, I said, "Hey mate, how's it going without any social media?" And then he goes, "I can't tell you the level of presence that I'm feeling, not having to think about getting on my phone." The first thing, I travel with Jamie a lot, and it's just I continuously observe this, and I'm just like, wow. The first thing, when those wheels touch down.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't even turn his phone off. You're meant to turn it off. He just leaves it on flight mode. But they say actually you've got to turn it off in the actual landing. He doesn't turn it because he wants to, because that will take too long to turn it on. So he just goes boom, and he's like, "Hey guys, I just landed," and and I do that too, But it's the space that it's coming from. Or he'll get up there. What's going on? Who's on? Who commented on my? He's continuously on there. It's an addiction. I mean, love is an addiction, but the addiction of love is when it's coming from the perceived emptiness. So today's lesson, and I said to Jamie, "How does it feel?" And he was just like, "Yeah, I'm just feeling really, really present." I spoke to him yesterday. "How's it going?" It's been like week 2 or 3 now. And by the way, Jamie's just spent thousands of dollars in hiring someone to do his marketing. So they're in the process of building his new blog. And they're like, "All right, we need you to do posts." And he's like, "No, I don't want to do anything." And they're like, "But it's not going to work without posts. You got to post your blogs." He's like, I'm not going to post anything anymore unless it feels like I would love to post it. Not I would need to post this. So the team have decided to go for another 6 weeks from a couple of weeks ago. So they're another 2 weeks into it. None of them on any social media. the likes that I get in my posts have dropped dramatically because there's always the team that was liking my post. I've noticed it's dropped. So I'm almost tempted to go, okay guys, go back on social media and get me my ranking back up. No, I'm just kidding. So I wanted to share that example with you, and it's been a powerful process. They're only like maybe 2-3 weeks halfway into it, and there's still no social media. And then after 6 weeks, we're going to discuss, how do you feel? What was the experience? Do you want to continue? Do you want to, everyone can do whatever they want to do? I don't know. We'll see. We don't plan it. We'll see. Yep. All right. So I think we made it very clear. I mean, today we're here to talk about love, and the love that I'm here to talk about is the infinite love. But it's a lot easier to work out, well, what's not the infinite love, and kind of work your way towards the infinite love through just feeling. Because the only thing we can define is the non-infinite love, the love that's been manifested into form.